Hello everyone, it's Odd Guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to take a look at yet another budget scenario. What if you have just one expensive card in your collection, but that one expensive card happens to be one of the best legendary cards in the game, Baku the Moon Eater, the enabler of odd decks. What can you do then? Well, for instance, you could build this Budget Odd Rogue deck. Baku the Moon Eater, 1600 dust. The whole deck, 2840 dust. So everything in addition to Baku is just 1240 dust. That is extremely budget friendly. And furthermore, this deck is actually really solid. Very fast, pure aggro deck. Okay, so you have to like aggro decks to really play this, but it is a good aggro deck. If you're looking to build something a bit more mid-rangey on a budget, then Gen Greymane would be the legendary for you, and even decks, but Odd just enables you to go very aggressive. The overall game plan of the deck is fairly simple. You have a 2 damage dagger at your disposal thanks to Baku the Moon Eater, so you want to use your hero power, you want to use your dagger, you mainly use your dagger to control the board so that your minions can hit face. But at the right time, you can also use your dagger to hit face. You try to play your minions in such a way that they are as difficult for the opponent to remove as possible. So, for example, if you can get an Argent Squire on the board with its Divine Shield, if you can buff that with Cold Blood, make it a 5/1 with Divine Shield, that's great. Many opponents will struggle to deal with that. If you have a chance to get a Tug on the board and start to get it growing, that's great. It will be more difficult to deal with as well. If you can protect your other minions with Dark Reaper, that's good. If you can get a Fungalmancer out there, get the health totals of your minions to awkward numbers so that your opponent doesn't have a way to deal with them, that's good. And if you have to take trades in order to protect your high value minions, think about, okay, which minions are going to die to removal anyway. Like playing against Paladin, and they might have Consecrations, they might have Equality Clears, Divine Shields are extremely valuable, minions with more than 2 health are extremely valuable. If you have like 2 health minion, you can freely use that for trading in order to protect the health or total of other minions. Obviously a budget build such as this has to sacrifice something, and it's sacrificing a little bit of that reach and additional draw. So the top end in here is 2 copies of Nightblade. Nightblade gives you a little bit of reach. It's very difficult to find odd cost cards that would otherwise give you reach. Obviously, even in a budget version you have stuff like Southsea Deckhand and Cold Blood that can give you some reach even if you have no board. Although in general you want to try to get Cold Blood on a minion that's on the board that can hit face that turn whenever that minion is unlikely to be removed the following turn. That way you might be able to hit twice with the Cold Blood instead of saving it for a burst in the end. When you mulligan with Odd Rogue, it depends a little bit of course on the matchup, but in general the card that you really want to have is the Hench Clan Tug. Hench Clan Tug is incredibly powerful. It's your main offensive threat. In addition to that, you really want to have a 1-drop. Odd Rogue really wants to get on the board on turn 1. Argent Squire, Diamol, Firefly are the best options. Less so with the deckhand. I would only keep deckhand really against Paladin, where I'm desperate to have a 1-drop if I have no other 1-drops available. But all the other ones are getting a much better job done. And Firefly is great also with Cold Blood. I want to keep Cold Blood if I have a couple of 1-drops so that I can activate it. And Firefly is a couple of 1-drops in a single card, whereas otherwise I would need to have like Argent Squire, Diamol, Cold Blood. Yeah, that would be a workable hand. In addition to Hench Clan Tug and the 1-drops, the rest of the stuff is pretty situational. Like I would keep SI7 Agent against Paladin or in a Rogue Mirror. And I would keep Dark Reaper also against Paladin in Rogue Mirror. Maybe against Hunter if the rest of my hand was already good. Another major threat that you have available is the Vicious Fledgling, but I would not keep this against Hunter, because Hunters are generally very good at dealing with this. But keeping this against something like a Mage would definitely make sense. Or against something like a Warrior, these slower matchups where there is a chance that it gets to do something. Against a Warrior, for example, it makes little difference whether you have a Fledgling or whether you have a Hench Clan Tug. If they armor up and use shield slam, they kill 4 health minion anyway, so both of them die the same. Whereas against Hunter there is a significant difference because Fletchling dies to a flanking strike, but Henchclan Tug does not. I would also keep Silence against Priest, and I would also keep it against Paladin if I have some decent hand already. There might even be some positions where you want to keep a Fungal Mancer. It's traditionally been especially good against Druid, but it's unlikely that you would meet a lot of Druids on the ladder right now. In other words, I guess I'm trying to say that it's complicated. Squire, Mole, Firefly are some of the best things you can keep. Henchclan Tug is one of the best things you can keep. Beyond that, it becomes quite conditional. So if you start out with this budget build, then what are you aiming for? For a full cost version, you're aiming at something like this. This is a full cost Odd Rogue, it has Leroy Jenkins in it, it has Myra's Unstable Element, it has some Wildspine Slayers. Obviously, there is not only just one single way to build a full cost Odd Rogue. There are a number of cards that come into the deck and go out of the deck, depending on the meta that you're facing. For example, Crystallizer is a 1-drop that occasionally sees play, especially when Odd Rogue mirrors are very common. Sometimes you also see Void Rippers, often actually in this spot where I have an Ironbeak Owl here, but I prefer the Owl in the current meta, where it can deal with something like a Spike-Ridge Steed that Void Ripper is pretty bad at dealing with. Sometimes you also see Edwin Van Cleaves. Some people like to play, for example, with just one Dark Reaper and have Edwin as another card there, a bit more proactive, a bit more threats. But I like Dark Reaper right now, and I especially like Dark Reapers in a double Scalebane builds. If you start cutting down the number of Scalebanes, then Dark Reaper also becomes less useful. And actually some people do cut one of the Scalebanes in order to fit in a Captain Green skin. So there are several options and ways to make this deck more expensive, but right now this is my preferred build. As for how you get to that build from this budget build, the Nightblades are the first ones to go. They are clearly there just to give you some reach where you don't really have cards that give you that properly. And the first Nightblade to go should be replaced with a Leroy Jenkins, because Leroy Jenkins is useful in a multitude of other decks as well. For example, if you want to build a budget Odd Paladin, you can also use Leroy Jenkins in that deck. So Leroy is the natural first choice. As for the second Nightblade, I would replace that with Myra's Unstable Element. I really like Myra's Unstable Element in Odd Rogue. Playing Myra's Unstable Element, drawing your entire deck, usually just gives you so much juice that you're able to end the game, especially now that you have Leroy in the deck. Such a great fit for this archetype. And finally, you can take away the Blink Foxes and replace them with Wildspine Slayers for some hard removal. And that's it. Now you have a full cost, full power Odd Rogue at your disposal. If you enjoy this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. And now, let's go take a look at some gameplay with this budget list and see that it's actually pretty effective as well. The event trilogy completed with the Warlock. And now we might move into some odds. Against the Mage I would like to be fast. Deckhand doesn't really do it though. I need some other 1-drops I believe. It could also of course be an Odd Mage. But lately I've been seeing more big spell stuff. Yeah, Baku is like the last card that I would like to have. So what kind of Mage deck? It is actually an Odd Mage. That can be problematic. Well, it does really depend. Aggressive Odd Mage? Probably an aggressive Odd Mage. Kept 3 cards. Need to be pretty aggressive to do that. I'm going to kill that one and punch him in the face a little bit. Alright. Next turn, Henchclan Tug turn. Most likely. He might coin out something. Just a Black Cat. Okay, I don't mind a Black Cat. Oh, Kalin reached rank 1 today. Great job, Kalin. I'm happy for you. Yeah, this is a Tug turn. We go in with the Tug. We grow that to be a 4/4, but he might have the 1-drop. And then Hero Power to deal 4 damage to the Tug. That's like one of the best things about playing an Odd Mage, that you can actually deal with thugs like that. And that's exactly what he was capable of. I'm daggering up this turn. I'm using the SI7 agent to clear out the 1/1. Clumper is so harder to play than I thought, so many unexpected lethals. Yeah, there are lots of things that it can do, definitely. And also a lot of games where it just rolls. Alright. And Blink Fox or Dark Reaper. I think I'll go for the Blink Fox here. Let's see what I can pick up from that one. And Antonidas. Intriguing. But is it strong enough? Will be hard to make use of it. Do I have enough time? I mean, this has to be the aggressive version, right? The way I see it, it has to be. And that can be a counter spell, or it can be explosive runes. And I really want to know which one it is. Hopefully not a counter spell. Counter spell would be bad for me. We drop in this one, and it's the runes. And do I sacrifice one of the minions here? Yeah, I think I will. Play the Hench Clan Tug. Sacrifice a Blink Fox. Go face with this. Okay. This is what we're trying to do. He has lots of resources though. But if there's no counter spell coming, then I might find something with Antonidas Deadly Poison. Come on, hit me in the face. No! Everything went to the minions. That was rough. So next turn is going to be Antonidas into Deadly Poison, right? I like the Budget Deck series. Thanks. I'm happy that you do. So do I hit with my weapon? Let me see. 8 or 6. 8 plus 3, 11. I won't hit with the weapon, right? I just play the Nightblade and equip the weapon. I think something like this. Let's see. Is this going to be enough? Oh no! Maybe not against Rag. Oh dear. That Rag. So Antonidas 8 to the face. Puts him down to 9. If I don't die next turn. This is what we're trying. But he might have a counter spell. Whether he has or not, we're about to find out. It's time to go. It's time to go face. I might also top deck a Cold Blood. But if he's able to play a secret here, and if that secret is a counter spell, okay. It wasn't quite as explosive deck as I expected. I mean, I really didn't expect Jan'alai when I saw the Kirin Mage, but if there's no counter spell, taunt, or weapon removal, I'm representing lethal right now. But this lowers the odds of Rag hitting face. Okay, well, that's pretty perfect. He set up 50% lethal. But he lost.
Here we go.
Well, that was an aggro mirror. I think I'll try with this. I'm not sure if Scalebane is too slow. But I already have a couple of 1-drops, so it's not like I'm completely out of 1-drops. It's an OTK Paladin. Okay. Let's see.
Mind if I roll need?
There's a good coin SI to kill the Loot Hoarder. Push face damage. I could kill the Loot Hoarder with the Diamole. Or I can just ignore the Loot Hoarder.
The light protects me.
I think I'm just ignoring the Loot Hoarder for now. Let's see. No, ignoring it is wrong because he could have Potion of Heroism. If he has Potion of Heroism for the loot hoard, then ignoring it was wrong. This turn we're going for Dagger down the Talnos. Well, I do have to kill the Talnos, and I want to protect these at least from Consecration. But I guess I want to coin Scalebane next turn and start seeing if he has some good answers or not. Which means staggering down the Talnos. Next turn is coin Scalebane. Then the turn after I would need to have an activator for the SI7 agent, right? So I couldn't play the Flame Elemental now. I'll play it now. We'll see. This was a difficult decision. That at least is weak.
Reporting for duty.
Let's see. What's the played win rate of Call to Arms in his deck? I don't know about played win rates, but played win rate doesn't matter. It's the drawn win rate that matters. Time to coin the Scalebane. And I believe I'm taking a trade with the Flame Elemental here. This one dies to all sorts of stuff anyway. And I want to hold on to a dagger for a little. I hope it doesn't get the buff. He can't play Equality Consecration yet, but he could do that next turn. He can play Call to Arms this turn, obviously. Or he can play Pyro Equality. Pyro Equality works out. That was nice for him. So it's time for me to play the Blink Fox. Call to Arms. 2 or less. Well, it would thin my deck quite a bit. Maybe. Push with this one. Not the time to hit with the dagger yet. He needed to have exactly Pyro Equality, nothing else would have cleaned up that board. I don't want to use the Ironbeak Owl. Deadly Poison is perfect. So I re-dagger. And Deadly Poison my new dagger. In order to kill the 5/4. Then I can also SI7 the 1/1. And I can push 8 to the dome. Okay, and I've already seen one equality. So the odds of him having a second equality are rather low. I was more expecting... 9, 15. 15 is not quite enough now, is it? No, it's still better to kill the Brewmaster. It is still better to kill the Brewmaster. If I kill the Brewmaster, I push face with these, play the Scalebane and dagger up. Scalebane so that I have as much health as possible, so that he would really need the equality to get a clear. But I have a silence in hand, so if he goes for Hero Power Steed, that just doesn't do anything. Steed is a very likely answer in a position like this for the OTK Paladin. But that's an Ironbeak Owl right there. And that's a win. Is Blink Fox strong enough? Probably not. Let's see if I can grab another 1-drop. Oh, now I'm having a bit too few minions here. I would have needed more minions. His number of minions is insufficient. Hunter kept 3 cards, so he has a fairly solid hand there. Alright. Does he coin another 1-drop? He doesn't. I was kind of expecting him to coin another 1-drop, but... okay. So, probably some kind of mid-range hunter. But I couldn't leave the Daimol up for him to Crackling Razormaw. Oh boy, oh boy. Explosives. He still has the coin, so he can still coin Flanking Strike on my fledgling. The big question is, do I even attack? Explosive Trap, Wandering Monster. This is actually a real tough decision whether I should attack or not. I probably should not attack. I probably need to play a Blink Fox here. Oh, it was a snipe. Well, that was a surprise. Maybe I now should have attacked with the dagger as well. Another Diamond into Razormaw, and he gets... what does he get? Still 2 cards left in the hand that he kept from the start, and you would keep stuff like... you would keep stuff like Flanking Strike. Well, this turn is pretty obvious though, from my perspective. It's Diamond into Grievous Bite on that one, so that I can clear this one with the dagger. Then I can spend one of the Cold Bloods here to push 5 to the dome. And this will entice him to use a Flanking Strike. Or maybe just play an Explosive Trap. Or maybe use a Wing Blast. A bit more surprising, but okay. Alright, that's a Cobalt Scale Vein. No questions asked. Alright. Fledgling is a little bit of an odd one out in a Hunter meta. Because Hunt has so many ways to deal with fledglings. Oh no, he has a kill command. Well, I guess I'm fine with the kill command. It's time for me to dagger up. And kill the Scavenging Hyena, of course. And I suppose I will also play the fledgling and Cold Blood this one. Push 8 to the dome. Now there are 2 minions that are threats. 2 minions that he would like to deal with. And that is not going to deal with either of them, because I will just Deadly Poison. Yeah, it's still going to be the Deadly Poison turn, so dagger up and Deadly Poison. Kill that one. Push to the dome. Can I pick up a Wind Fury? No, but I can pick up Stealth. Stealth is fine. This one goes to the dome. This one goes to the dome. He's a gunner. That's a win. Yeah, Rexar is not going to save you. Nope. They're still lethal on board. Explosive Trap would have saved him on board. Rexar coin Explosive Trap, because then everyone would have 1 health, but I would have still had exactly 7 from hand. So it would have still been fine. I don't like that they're going to Mass Hysteria me, but I think I like this hand.
We'll survive.
Yeah, well, maybe spending dust. You faced no control deck. I did win an OTK Paladin. You are absolutely incorrect. I definitely defeated an OTK Paladin here. Alright. To defeat me. Absolutely. But we try to do nice things. And we'll see where that's going to go. I don't know the archetype yet. If I was the priest player and it was like Mind Blast Priest, it would be a Twilight Acolyte turn probably. No, it's a Holy Smite. But you have to Holy Smite again. Maybe you don't have to Holy Smite again. So this is preparation for Mass Hysteria, right? So how do I make sure that the Hench Clan Tuck cannot die if there's a Mass Hysteria? Coining Fungal Mancer does not ensure that it doesn't die. It could also be a bluff. Maybe I should coin Fungal Mancer anyway. That leaves like 50% chance for the Tug to die to a Mass Hysteria. But what real alternatives do I have? I think I need to go into Fungal Mancer here. The other alternatives are simply, they're not pushing damage very quickly. Now, if both of these hit in the Tug, then the Tug dies. But if these hit each other first, in whichever order, then the Tug lives. Ouch. Well, sometimes it works like that. Let's see. But I was thinking that if I play the Flame Elemental, I ensure that the Tug does not die, but I also don't push damage. So I felt like I was going to be too weak if I did that. Well, this Grizzly is never going to die, which I guess is a good thing. So we're definitely going to silence it.
Here we go.
And hit face as much as possible. He might just scream next turn. It's a good turn to play a Dark Reaper out there. If he screams, he at least gives me his Grizzly. There are of course other alternatives. I have 5 from hand, which is not quite as much as I would like. Another Mass Hysteria, but it doesn't go his way. So Nightblade will be able to do the honors. Nightblade! Dead Priest. This looks like a hand that can be kept. The most played, so that's no Witch's Cauldron, no Liam. That's with the double Creepers and Leroy. And it should be a decent list still. Witch's Cauldron is a card that is definitely making an appearance. You can replace Divine Favor with that. That's something a lot of people are using. I think I'll drop the deckhand out there against the Priest at this point. That's a good Priest player. Heal to the face. Alright. What's up next? Oh, it's an OTK Priest. Okay. I think I have to give him that coin. There was the alternative to silence this one, but I think it's often more useful to silence a bit later. Although the coin can be perilous. Here comes Coin Ziliax or something. Coin Grizzly. Coin Grizzly is not bad. If I kill the Grizzly, he is just going to resurrect it. Which means that I'm not going to kill the Grizzly. Or am I? Because I could also silence it later. I think I'll actually kill this first Grizzly now. I generally don't like that move, but I think here it's appropriate. I believe it's appropriate now. Then I can build a board that cannot really be dealt with something like a Mass Hysteria. Mass Hysteria would only kill one of the minions. Here comes the Mass Hysteria already. Can he have double Mass Hysteria? I mean, I guess he could. But I don't want to jeopardize the Henge Clan Tug.
Here we go.
He could also have a Ziliax though. So I can only play around either the Ziliax or the Mass Hysteria. I cannot play around both of them. Which one do I choose to play around? I just saw one Mass Hysteria. There are no other kept cards. I'll play around with Celiax. But now Mass Hysteria will kill the Tug. If there's a second Mass Hysteria. But Celiax accomplishes nothing. So Spirit Lash. Just a Servitude. Fine. I'm fine with the Servitude. Silence.
Here we go.
Lethal. Boom. I would like to have any other 1-drop than the Deckhand. But I think I'll still keep the Deckhand because I generally just need a 1-drop anyway.
None will survive.
What kind of Paladin? OTK. Alright. Here we go. Here we go. This will be a fledgling on 3. Yuku5 just subscribed. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate that. I think this is the line. Not attacking yet. I don't intend to dagger for the next 2 turns. So I'll have 2 attacks with this dagger. I want to protect the Divine Shield too in case I find a Cold Blood. Oh, there's a Cold Blood. Now some real questions. Nah, it's still a fledgling turn, right? He could coin True Silver on the fledgling. I suppose it still has to be the fledgling turn. He kept 2 cards, which is a little bit annoying. True Silver would be painful. Can I make him... But I can't really make him use the True Silver to anything else either.
Here we go.
I think this is just the way it has to go. But he can coin True Silver now. That's solid. Here comes the True Silver. Well, I knew it was coming, so it wasn't that much of a surprise, really. SI7 agent without the value. I suppose it has to happen. He will True Silver that one down too. I don't get a good Fungal Mancer turn. What can I do? I don't want to hit with the dagger yet. I might need the dagger. If he has Pyromancer or something, but he spent the coin, so it's not that easy to activate the Pyromancer. Well, Pyromancer Potion of Heroism would be solid. Pyromancer Flash of Light. Lots of good Pyromancer options here. And that's not a bad card either. And he can also play the Hero Power. No, he goes for that line. Interesting. Okay, I have to try with the Tug. It's the Tug. It's the Deckhand. Deckhand and Dagger to kill Kangor. Then I can push 5 to the Dome. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. Now it looks like this OTK Paladin is actually stabilizing. But we will keep trying. Oh no, double Righteous Protectors. That is so powerful. That was truly amazing. I think I need to do just this. He's likely to steed next turn. But I kind of wanted to get that 10 and 0. Which is not happening right now. Oh, he goes for a Consecration. Pyromancer Consecration. That's solid. No. No Pyro Potion of Heroism. Oh dear. And then he needs another spell. Another Flash of Light or Potion of Heroism. Another Flash of Light. So beautiful. Perfection.
Here we
I have to kill that one, obviously. Well, I need to try, but I have dealt with both protectors, and I have a silence for his steed, so if I can push enough, but it looks very unlikely because there's another equality play now. Yeah, this is just one of those games. Long overdue, to be honest. I think I need to combo the Cold Blood here, but I expect that he can handle this one too. I don't expect him to just play Hero Power Steed, although maybe.
It's time to test your metal.
Yeah, this is the moment where we call it quits. I believe this is a fine hand. Silence can just be so useful against Priest.
None will survive.
But let's go and find out more. Okay, so far so good. Next turn will be the Hench Clan Tug. Not the Gargoyle. It's still the Hench Clan Tug.
Here we go.
Okay, it's another OTK Priest. And I did not want to silence the Gargoyle, even though that gives him the coin, so he can play like CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA. CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA is obviously nice, but it still can't kill the Tug. It only becomes a problem if he can resurrect it.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Here comes the CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA. And if he can resurrect it, it can become a problem. He could have Mass Hysteria as well. My best chance is to hit into the CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA. Now it doesn't heal him yet because he's at full health. And then coin the Fungalmancer. Because that will prevent the resurrected CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA from killing the Hench Clan Tug. But it's not necessarily successful. Here comes the CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA.
Perfection.
And well, what is the CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA going to do? CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA takes the trade. Fine. So there may or may not be Mass Hysterias coming. I mean, I could obviously simply dagger into the CAuvCAsrDAsrLAtHhAovlAqbvAgA again. Then Mass Hysteria cannot clear. I actually think that's pretty strong right now. It goes to 26 and then I push 11. He goes down to 15. And I have potential lethal for next turn, right? I think this is appropriate. We push this 11. I can play a single Firefly out there. Because this means that Mass Hysteria is not a board clear. We get him down to 15. Mass Hysteria cannot kill all the minions. And then I have 9, 11. Yeah, I have lethal. Here comes the lethal. With this SI7 agent. Exactly as planned. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.